So maybe you've noticed within yourself that you are feeling some avoidance. Maybe you're feeling a bit shut down in relationships. Maybe you're noticing that not just in your relationships, but in your life when things don't go the way that you want them to, or when there's difficult circumstances, difficult conversations, or maybe you know someone else who is avoidant and you're wanting to know, how do we know when this avoidant attachment style is starting to heal? Because it can heal. Being avoidant or having an avoidant tendency is not a life sentence. It can change over time, especially if you become aware of your patterns and the way that you've been showing up and the consequences of the way that you've been showing up in relationships and in your life, and how that's affecting you especially and other people. When you start to begin to have this self-awareness, you have so much more of a higher chance of being able to heal this attachment style and to become more secure. So these are 3 ways that you can know if it's started to heal. So the first one is that you're starting to actually check in with your emotions, because avoidance is avoiding that discomfort, avoiding those feelings where you're starting to feel uncomfortable. So we can shut down, or we can use logic and reasoning to make decisions, which sometimes is very, very useful and can create amazing success in our lives, but sometimes it can lead us to burnout. And it can lead us to explosive arguments in relationships, because where you haven't been able to address those feelings as you're feeling them, they can build up and then come out in a kind of big explosive argument. And then the other person is left thinking, oh my God, why didn't you just say? Why didn't you just tell me how you were feeling? Because what you're feeling is fine and safe and I'm here for it. That's basically what you want to be able to get to, a place where you can acknowledge your feelings as they come up, address them so that they don't blow up. So that's the first sign, is being able to start using your emotions to address and make decisions about your life rather than just logic. Okay, so it can start very simply with just noticing that you're having a feeling. Even if you just pause for a few seconds just to notice, okay, yeah, I'm having a difficult sensation here, I don't know what that is, and reflecting on that, even if it doesn't make sense at first, because remember, this is a new skill. You haven't been doing this for your whole life, so it's going to take time and practice. So the second thing is being able to reflect on your life, being able to reflect on why you are the way you are, looking at your childhood and the things that you experienced in your life, looking at where you actually did have unmet needs and your feelings were not validated, and what might have caused you to behave the way that you are. When you can start to reflect on and validate your experience, it makes it feel much safer for you to accept yourself as you are now, because being avoidant is not bad. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make anyone a bad person. It's a survival coping mechanism that you learnt in childhood. So this is where we can have compassion for ourselves and for other people. Now, let me just caveat this to say that when you're in a relationship or trying to have a relationship with someone who is avoidant, that doesn't mean that you have to be so compassionate that you don't listen to your own feelings and needs. Okay, you can't fix someone with more love and more compassion. It's a really beautiful, safe thing to do for someone, but they have to be willing. And if you're avoidant, you have to be willing to be able to work on yourself so that there's no consequences for the other person who is holding that space for you, if you see what I mean. So where we start to self-reflect, it gives us the opportunity to validate why we respond in the way that we do. But with that compassionate inquiry, we can start to be able to say, maybe something else is possible. Maybe I can feel this and choose a different response. And at first, this is really hard for the avoidant. This is really, really difficult. But where an avoidant can find themselves in a conversation that's safe with someone that they trust, maybe they are going to therapy, maybe they have taken that step to go to therapy and to talk to someone, they can start to validate their experience and the responses that they created as a result of the things that they didn't get met in their childhood. And that creates the opportunity to see that another way of being is possible. So if you're thinking about, is this avoidant starting to heal? Are they talking about their experiences? Are they open to therapy? This is a really good clue that they're on the way to healing. And the other thing is avoidance can actually be quite judgmental of the way other people handle their emotions, right? So basically, when someone is avoidant, they find their own coping mechanisms to avoid their emotions, right? They shut them down. They might do distracting things. They might be someone who just really has their head in their phone or their laptop a lot of the time. They work too much. They're doing something to really avoid as much as possible their emotions, and that helps them to regulate. That helps them to regulate themselves, to distance themselves. But where you'll know if someone is starting to heal that avoidance is that they start to be willing to co-regulate, to regulate with someone else, to share what they might be feeling, to express what's there and find a new way of finding safety with someone else. But this is one of the things that I think is really, really hard for avoidance, because they have experienced in the past, when I express my emotions, either I'm going to be shamed for them or they're going to be invalidated, and I'm not going to have that experience of safety, so I don't think I'll bother, basically. But where you start to be able to think, and again, this comes down to healing in relationships and safe relationships, where you find someone who is not pressuring you or not needing you to feel anything other than you feel, and can hold the space for you, which is really hard, isn't it? When you've got both got triggers and emotional wounding in your past. The anxious is going to be more demanding, which again, if you're watching this and you're anxious and you're thinking, oh my God, I did that, I put too much pressure on them, that's okay. That was for you to have that experience for you, and it isn't your fault that this other person was where they were on their journey. Okay, both people get to learn things in this in relationships. So the anxious is more likely to put pressure on the avoidance, which is going to trigger the avoidance, and then the avoidant is going to keep doing that thing, and then the avoidance triggers the anxious, and it's a kind of loop of doom, really, unless we become conscious, which is what you're doing by watching this video. Hurrah, brilliant, you're here, you're doing the work. All is well. So it takes time, but these 3 signs are going to help you to know if you and the other person that you might be thinking about is starting to heal their avoidance. If you're watching this video and you're feeling like the process of becoming secure feels too much, feels overwhelming, remember, you're not going from like here to here in one day, or even in 1 week or 1 month. It takes time. It really, really, really takes time. It's baby steps. Okay. And it's understanding this for yourself and other people that helps it be possible and safe for us to create changes in our patterns, our nervous system, and therefore our relationships. So I hope you found this video useful. If you would like some support on your journey to healing, or you'd like someone to talk to who really gets it, because oh my God, I really get it. I've experienced it myself and in my relationships, and I really know how hard this is, but I also know how possible change is. So if you would like to talk to someone who gets it, I'm here. I've got one-to-one options and I've got group options, and if not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.